Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. I've had a lot of people ask me to take a closer look at the Shadowdark Quickstart Rules. Again, I don't regard them as quick start. These are light rules, and that they are enough that you can actually play a couple of sessions, you can level, you can get a feel for the game. Folks wanted to get a peek at this. It's free, folks. You can go to Drive Through RPG, or you can go to the Arcane Library and download it for free. If you go to the link below, you make an additional purchase. It's an affiliate link, so if you actually spend money, some of that money will go toward helping the tavern, and I appreciate it. So, uh, what can I say about Shadow Dark? This is the right away. You get your basic gear page. One of the most important things in this game are torches. We'll get to that later. It doesn't use encumbrance as we traditionally think of it. When I say we, I'm talking about most old school gamers and most new school gamers, right? You're so used to tallying up how many gold pieces and weight I'm carrying. It uses gear slots. So, coins, your first 100 are free to carry. I guess after that, every 100 coins is one gear slot. You have 10 gear slots plus your equal to your strength stat or 10. So in other words, strength is 3 to 18. If it's less than 10, you can still carry 10. So that's important to note. When you think about it, uh, gems are probably a great way to carry a large amount of money, like other games, without carrying too many gear slots up. Play your turn. You roll your initiative once for the session, and then you maintain that order. Difficulty class. This is something that we're looking at from, I guess, what's the third edition on? Uh, Easy is a difficulty class of 9. That's 9 or better on a D20. Normal is difficulty 12. They give examples. Hard is 15. Extreme is 18. Morale. Morale is actually important in this game. Yes, creatures can break and flee. Uh, Dying. Now, I don't have a problem with their dying mechanic, death timer. 1d4 plus constitution modifier. Um, Minimum of one round. If you roll a d20, if you happen to roll a 20, you will rise with one hit point. You might have been better off staying down. But I used to always house rule one of two ways. Folks either got to go to their constitution score as a negative, or a bit more, I guess, grim games. It was character level plus constitution modifier. So if you're level 2 and your constitution modifier is 2, you could be unconscious 4 rounds before bleeding out. Stabilize, now within close range. Now, the ranges are different. I like the way they handle range and movement. We'll get to that. Close range, DC 15, intelligence check on success. Target stops dying but is still unconscious. Distance movement is broken down by close, near, and far. I like this mechanic, even if I wind up not playing, Shadow Dark as an ongoing game. I'm probably going to yoke their distance and movement. Uh, Close, 5 feet. Near, up to 30. Far, anything within sight. And when within sight, it probably also means within reason. Uh, Climbing, strength or dexterity check at half your normal speed. Uh, you fall if you fail by 5 points or better, and that's where things like advantage disadvantage comes into play. If you're scaling something that's easy to climb, you can roll with advantage. Maybe you're gonna have an easy check, and you all right. Well, you got an easy check anyway, and you've already got your equipment for climbing. So I don't. Again, these are things that I, even as an old school gamer, I don't mind because these are things that I would generally have to house full on the fly anyway. Falling damage, d6 damage every 10 feet. That sounds very familiar. I don't have a problem with that. Moving through, move freely through allies. Pass a strength or dexterity check to move through enemies. That's fine. That actually gives a mechanic to something that a lot of your players want to do anyway. Swimming. Swim half speed, strength check in rough waters, constitution check of holding breath. So it's only saying you need a strength check in rough waters, which means by default you can probably swim. Spell focus. Can't cast other focus spells while focusing. Make a spell casting check at the start of your turn for the spell. Success, the spell stays in effect until the start of your next turn. Failure, the spell ends. If you are focusing, you do not lose the ability to cast that spell. Distraction. Make a spell casting check to maintain focus. This is all good. This is stuff they throw in the beginning. This is stuff that you'd want on your GM screen. Legal information. This is under the Creative Commons 4.0 using a 5.1 SRD. Kelsey wrote, designed, and did the layout. I give her lots of credit. So, by the way, everything here is hyperlinked. It's a beautiful thing. Folks don't do it enough. I used to go, I don't need things hyperlinked. Guess what? I like things hyperlinked. What is Shadowdark? It's an RPG. If you play D&D, you have an idea what Shadowdark is. But what defines this game? Speed, danger, and simplicity. Magic is perilous, and battles are fast and deadly. Being clever is crucial for survival. Shadowdark is rules light and intuitive. It encourages quick decisions rather than hunting through the rulebook for answers. In this game, a torch only holds back the pressing darkness for 1 hour of real time. This is a huge change, right, folks? Usually we've got real time and game time. Well, those torches in game burn in real time. So it could last in game, theoretically, right? A good long while, but we're talking real time. Real time. There isn't a movement to waste when the flames are burning low. How do I play? And then they go into this. But here's the basics. Okay? You generally generate your character. You describe an action. You got movement. You can move anywhere. You can basically move 30 feet. Like I said, initiative rounds. You roll initiative once per game, and it stays in that order. Whole thing. Stats. The stats that we all know and love, right? Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Hit points. Well, we all know about that. Dead characters are retired from the party. I guess there's no raise. I don't know if there's any raised dead in the full rules. We'll see, I guess, when the Kickstarter comes out and to fruition. Now, I've had people tell me they don't like the art. I'm going to tell you, I like this art. If you don't like this art, that's a matter of choice, matter of preference. I think the art is atmospheric, does a great job of capturing the default setting. So, overview. Obviously, character needs a name. Ancestry. This is your cultural and ancestral heritage. We used to call that race. Class, level, XP, alignment and deity. Now, we're going to when we get to the alignment, there's going to be some quibbles on that, but they do have titles as you level up. Your background, stats, hit points, all these things you know about. AC, attacks, talents. Talents are your special abilities. We would call them class abilities. They could be feats. It's all rolled into one. I like the way talents are done in this game. Some people don't. Some people feel that the character progression is a bit too randomized. I think it actually should work, but later on this month we'll give it a shake on the Tavern. we'll get a party or two together and see how this plays out. Spellcasting classes, that would be your cleric and wizard. Gear, first level characters start with their background, their stats, choice of ancestry, choice of class, one class talent roll. Like I said, not every starting character starts out the same. Not every wizard is going to have the same perks or talents. Hit points, they're rolling random. I would, of course, say first level, you're all getting max. Start everybody off equally at least. Choice of alignment, 2d6 times 5 gold pieces to buy gear. Now, your background is interesting. We had this in AD&D. Remember? You could have been a jeweler. You could have been an armorer. You always wanted to be an armorer or a weaponsmith or a jeweler because you think you could gamify this stuff. Well, here's the similar thing. You could be a jeweler. You could be a soldier. You could have been a ranger or a scout, minstrel, scholar. So, again, there's a lot of stuff that's put into the DM's hands. So if you were a scholar and something comes up about ancient history or lore, maybe the DM says, well, all right, make an intelligence check, but roll with an advantage. Or maybe you're a cleric that's a scholar. Or maybe make a wisdom check because it's a religious question. Or herbalist, maybe you know of something that can help fight poison when you're out. I like that. It puts a lot of power into the hands of the DM, and it makes the player think out of the box. Stats. Again, we know the stats. We've played with them, some of us, for over 40 years. Okay? Some of us coming on 50 years. Your bonuses start at 12. 12 and 13 is plus 1. 14, 15 is plus 2. 16, 17 is plus 3. 18 is plus 4. They say that if you don't have at least one stat at plus 2, you can reroll your character. By the way, you're rolling in order. All right? My general rule of thumb has always been the character generated needs to have a total, after pluses and minuses, of at least an overall plus 1. They have to be above normal if they are going out into the wild. Maybe with this game, I would say, all right, well, in that case, maybe it's got to be a plus 2. But it still could mean it could be 2 plus 1s, right? Or it could be 3 plus 1s and a minus 1. That's how I would probably house rule that. Ancestry, again, races, not quite everything that you would remember, and that's probably how I'm going to wrap up the first part. We'll start with classes in the next installment of this. Dwarves. Every race, by the way, gets their common tongue plus their ancestral language. They start with plus 2 hit points, pretty huge, and they roll hit point gains with advantage, which I would interpret to be as they gain hit points starting with second level. If they're a fighter, they roll their hit die twice and take the better roll. Not bad. They're going to be pretty sturdy. Elves. You get plus 1 bonus to attack rolls with ranged weapons or a plus 1 bonus to spell casting checks. So just depending whether you're taking a caster or a fighter or thief, depending on what your class is, you're going to choose which one you take. Goblins. Can't be surprised. Well, that's pretty important. Maybe you always want a goblin in your party. Halfling. Once per day, they become invisible. Half orc. Now, I'm impressed they're including the half orcs because, they are generally not the offspring of a loving relationship. Mighty, you have a plus 1 bonus to attack and damage rolls with melee weapons. Humans, they gain an additional talent roll at first level. That can be very important. And they know common plus 1 other language. And then we get into the classes. And I will start with the classes in the next part of this. I don't want to drone on today. But again, I like what I see so far. I am excited enough to want to run this pretty much as written. There are a few issues that I will have with this. One of them is hit point recovery or healing. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So, folks, this will be a part of an ongoing series. So if you like it, I'll put up, I guess, a sub channel for this. But subscribe, like, comment. All right, and I'm gonna have a link to the Kickstarter and a link to the drive-through for the free quick start rules as a pinned comment below. Folks, as always, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well, and I will be back again tomorrow with a live stream. We have multiple guests tomorrow. This should be fun. This should be rocking. So, multiple guests tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, talking crit. Enjoy it. Join us. Please ask our guest questions. It's going to be Rocky and Ian from Silver Belay. And the Tom Canals has a Kickstarter. So he formerly, he might still be freelancing with Frog God, but he has another project on the side. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, our live streams are rocking. All right, folks. God bless. I'll catch you tomorrow. Later.